Yo, what's going on guys, JBH here and welcome back to another episode of 2K18 where today we're going up against the Detroit Pistons back at the Amway Center. Now, after the huge win down at Miami, I have decided to go up the difficulty, so we're now playing on All-Star, which is still a medium level difficulty. It's nothing major, but it caused me a lot of issues at the start of the year. I just could not get used to this new 2K18 game, but the more experience I got, the more I've got used to sort of the aspects that I can capitalize on, which are a little bit different to past 2K games. So it's time to move up and make this more challenging and a little bit more difficult. So we'll see how we go today. No commentary today as I am recording this video quite late, but all in all, looking forward to this one as I finally get to play back on All-Star. We'll see if we can actually do it this time around, as the Magic don't quite have the best stats, so it's going to be pretty difficult. Well, without any further ado, we'll jump straight in and we'll see if we can get another win on this successful season so far.
I bring it to you live. Stay in a child's place, kid, you out of line. Criminal minds thirsty for recognition.
My lord. If you're a long-time
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Next to me, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The fans are filling the seats in Orlando, the site of our broadcast, and where the Magic will be going up against the Detroit Pistons. Well, for Detroit, they managed to take Game 1 of the season series against this team, looking to seal their series advantage with a win tonight. And tonight we'll be seeing Andre Drummond, pound for pound, one of the toughest players in the game, a monster in the post. Guys, is he the most physically punishing player in the league, Shaq?
Yes, the amount of space he takes up in the middle is impressive. He shrugs off all sorts of contact inside.
Well, he's got a blend of size and explosiveness, which is kind of unique. I haven't really seen a big man ever with size and explosiveness ever.
I can't really recall anybody either. Kenny, it's an excellent point. Yeah. I mean, I'm racking my brain going back years and years and years in this league, and I can't think of a guy who is as physically punishing and intimidating just when you look at it.
And you think about it. You could look around, there's pictures of players all in this room, and I still can't see anyone who has that kind of culture.
Whoa! What?
Take it back to Kevin, Ernie.
Okay.
Oh! Shaq was pretty imposing.
No, don't say it now. It's too late.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's too late. I don't want to hear it.
Right behind Andre Drummond.
I don't want to hear it.
The skyline of Orlando is seen here during a gorgeous sunset. Quite a backdrop for our broadcast tonight. Live from Orlando, 2K Sports proudly brings you the Magic at Amway Center. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side, Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. Last outing for Orlando, they won that game against the Heat in Miami. And that was a serious blowout. Not too many people can claim that they saw that coming.
And we all know in a hostile environment, always tough, but they were the better team on that night.
I absolutely love the fire they showed on the road. You really could tell they wanted that one.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. And tonight, the matchup at the center position is certain to draw attention. Not something we say every night because the bigs don't seem to be stressed. But tonight, Chris, that is a factor.
Thank God big guys are back in the game. Kevin, you know, I got this opinion that there's a conspiracy against the big guys. I mean, hey, big guys played in this basketball. You guys remember a guy by the name of Mike? He was pretty big. So, yeah, tonight we have a great center matchup. I can't wait to watch this.
That opening sort of
And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Lure and Drummond together down low.
Shaq and
Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. And it's Harris in at the 3 slot.
with Shaq and the whole crew it's really so neat.
Payton against Jackson. Outside Bradley. The Pistons with the fresh 24. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And Drummond is a huge, powerful presence on the block. He has no problem getting physical down low. Look, I still can't believe how athletically gifted this kid Drummond is at the center position. It's not just his size. It's his speed, it's his quickness, and jumping ability.
Two shots.
That one is off. Well, with Drummond, you usually don't see someone who has as much muscle mass as he does and able to run the court and blow by defenders. But, Chris, he does it on a nightly game-to-game basis.
It's crazy. He tries and kind of plods down the court, but when he gets the ball, he has a burst off the dribble. And you're just like, are you kidding me? His consistency needs to come, but don't sleep on his quickness anymore.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old-school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
To the middle, and Vucevic kicks to Gordon. Avery Bradley pulls it in. So it's the Pistons now. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
You know what? It's a fine line between attacking but yet staying under control. And they did, and that's why they shot such a high percentage.
Well, they worked through their plays until they found some decent looks, and then they did a great job finishing.
Now here's Gordon after the miss from Reggie Jackson. Here's Payton. 9 points last game. Clock at 4. Fournier, and the call will be against Fournier. That's his first foul.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Now here's Jackson. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Harris outside. The Pistons working the ball around now. Shot clock at 6. The offensive rebound. Here's Drummond. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Exactly. That's what Drummond will always give you, tenacity on the offensive glass.
Over to the left wing. Here's Isaac. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. The Magic shooting their first free throws of the game right now.
Jonathan Isaac.
And the first one drops. And Chris, growing up a fan of the Pistons, did you have any particular moment that sticks out to you about this franchise?
Oh, so many moments. Isaiah Thomas winning MVP in the All-Star game. So many moments. Joe Dumars playing great defense on Michael Jordan, sweeping the 1989 finals. That was our first time. And in high school, I remember we had these little pocket TVs that one of my friends had. We actually got to watch the game as the Pistons played against Portland. So, of course, I have many memories. You want some more? I keep going on and on and on and on.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Well, that opening right there, that's just because the defense failed to rotate.
Now here's Payton, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Here's Vucevic. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
I love watching Isaac find the open teammate. Has great floor awareness out there and just knows when one of his guys has a clean look.
Here's Lure. 9 points last game out. Dishes it to Bradley. Jackson with it. Lure the screen. Takes it from 10. Here's Drummond. And no good. And Orlando the other way now. And here is Payton. Inside. Looking for Fournier and gets it there. Gordon a screen. Payton in the corner. Lets it go from deep. Hits the three-point bomb. Payton's got his first 3 points of the game.
And they can't allow him too many open looks like that. That's just inviting trouble.
Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Stolen by Lure. Over Gordon. And Lure gets it to go. Lure's got his first 2 points of the night.
Excellent inside move. He beats the defense to the punch.
Pass to Isaac. Kicks to Fournier. Fires from deep. It's Drummond with the rebound.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. The Magic have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Payton passes to Fournier. Gordon a screen. Here's Isaac. The dish now to Vucevic. 5 to shoot. Fires the 3. Isaac misses. The Pistons trailing. Outside Jackson. On the wing, Harris. Drummond in the post. Vucevic on him. And it's blocked by Gordon. And he's able to get it back. Bradley dishes to Jackson. Pass to Harris. Shoots over Vucevic. Takes a big high bounce and goes in.
Well, even when you are right in Harris's face, he feels at ease rising up for the J. You can only do so much against this guy sometimes.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic. Their last meeting was in Detroit, where they were unable to fight off the Pistons.
It really a resounding loss the last time they matched up. They got absolutely manhandled on the boards.
It was all the things we always talk about. I mean, blocking out, giving the extra effort, basic stuff that they were just unwilling to do, and they got killed for it.
Going with an almost entirely new group here. Spates checked in for Vucevic. Hezonja comes in for Isaac. Jonathan Simmons is checked in for Evan Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. And a different look here for the Pistons. Marjanovic checked in for Andre Drummond. Tolliver comes in for John Lure. Johnson, he's checked in for Bradley. And Smith subbed in for Jackson. Spates sets a screen. And Augustine kicks to Spates. And the slam dunk by Spates.
Oh, you hear that sound? That's the flushing of the toilet right there.
Greg, a fierce two-hander. Detroit's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Smith the pass to Marjanovic. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up.
Well, look, the sheer size of Boban Marjanovic is something that can intimidate even the tallest centers in the NBA. He's a legit 7'3" and comes in at least 290. Seemingly impossible to move him at times down low on the block.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw drops for Marjanovic. And to illustrate the size of Marjanovic, when Joel Embiid first checked into a game against him, he is visibly in awe of the size of Marjanovic. And Joel Embiid is a 7-footer.
Well, make no mistake about Boban, though. He is much more than a big body. He has a nice floater, a great turnaround jump shot, greatest shooter from the free throw. I mean, good awareness. He might be the best 7'3" passer in the league. He's upset he missed on a chance to give them the lead, but he evens things up.
Spates sets a screen. Gordon inside. Tolliver on him. And the basket by Gordon.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Team ball. Great execution on offense. Everyone working together. You wish you could have that on every play.
Now here is Smith. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Harris drives in. Second shot opportunity, and Marjanovic with the layup.
And they have a narrow edge here in rebounding early on, and you wonder what kind of a role that's going to play moving forward.
And now Harris running the floor all by himself. And the shot goes in.
And Harris is so good at remaining active on both ends of the court, never making anything easy for the opposition, which in turn results in a lot of steals.
So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. It's Detroit. They lead by 2. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
I tell you what, that first quarter, you can see the game plan is a commitment to offensive rebounding.
Oh, yeah, this is how they squeezed out extra possessions and captured the early lead.
Orlando trailing here. Here are the 5 Detroit has to start the second quarter. Harris is out there with Anthony Tolliver. Then there's Marjanovic. Then it's Johnson, and it's Smith in at point. Nailed from three-point land. Augustine's got the first basket of the second quarter for Orlando. Smith outside. The feed to Harris. Over Augustine. That's good from Harris on the assist by Smith. 6 points for Tobias Harris. And part of analyzing a game can be offering forth critique of players or officials or organizations. Chris, how do you find that balance of candor and yet not being too critical, being too harsh?
Great question.
Damn.
The way I try to have an honest balance is to remember how I felt when it happened to me.
Interesting.
When you're a player, if someone comes with hard, credible evidence, I mean, it's true. You can't take anything personal. But when guys are just criticizing the same jump shot that you made last play, I'm not that guy. So, you know, I try to keep a balance by being fair and honest, first of all, to the fans of that city and that state, and letting them know how great their team is, but also that maybe their team is playing lazy. Maybe look at this effort not out there by the floor. But also, in a blowout game, I also give the team that's losing by 30 just as much respect as I do the winning team, because those guys work just as hard. This is just a specific night they didn't play that well. So I just try to make every game as special as it is to me, from being a kid growing up to being able to play in the league, but then also just being fair. You know, benefit of the doubt first, but if you do 2 or 3 stupid things, then you're a stupid player that night. You know, just being honest, having fun. And I've gotten some calls from players, and I don't care. You know, I'm not hard to find. And I just try to have fun, be honest, and no hard feelings, man.
And they are going toe-to-toe here tonight, guys. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
Punch, counter punch. Neither club's been able to sustain an advantage.
Now here is Augustine. Gordon with the screen for Augustine. He feeds it to Gordon. The pass to Hazania. Orlando moving the ball around. Simmons. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That one on Johnson.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
The Magic shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
You've got to appreciate their ability to make free throws. 81% as a team.
And he makes the first. Orlando making some changes. Vucevic comes in for Gordon, and Evan Fournier subbed in for Mario Hezonja. Detroit also making some changes. Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic, and Bradley's subbed in for Harris. Good on both. And Stan Van Gundy, known for being one of the more demanding coaches when it comes to defense. He doesn't care who you are. If you're not giving it your all on the defensive end, you're going to find yourself on the bench.
Well, he's clear with what he wants and what he expects, and when you step on the floor.
Now here's Ellenson. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Just 4 to shoot. And Bradley gets it to go.
Man.
Oh, three-point shooting. The strength of Bradley's game offensively, incredible.
Now Augustine. It's Fournier on the wing. Vucevic against Drummond. Outside, Simmons. And taken away by Johnson. He kicks to Smith. Johnson the screen. Ellenson dishes to Smith. In the corner, Bradley with it. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. And now a 5-point Piston lead.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
And Augustine kicks to Fournier. Vucevic setting the pick for Simmons. He dishes it to Vucevic. Now here's space. Defense right on him.
And how about the numbers on Andre Drummond? He's been more than solid over the last month. First in rebounding, second in field goal percentage, and he's third in the league in blocks per game with his physical tools and, of course, that innate timing to send shots away.
And just going back real quick to the fact that he's tops in the league in rebounds, what a tremendous feat. What a monster he is in the paint. First one falls for him. Orlando making some changes. Isaac's checked in for Jonathan Simmons, and it's Payton in for Augustine. Detroit also making some changes. John Lure comes in for Henry Ellenson, and Reggie Jackson subbed in for Ish Smith. And both free throws good for Spates. And Chris, usually the guys who score a lot of points get all the attention. But if you had to pick some who don't get a lot of credit for the way they fill it up, who would some of those names be?
That's tough. I think anytime you have a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, who's a big guy and one of the top leading 5 scorers in the league, I think he doesn't get enough credit for scoring. His teammate, Anthony Davis, probably because of his record and his team not winning as much, doesn't get enough credit. Kawhi Leonard, because he's quiet and unassuming, doesn't grab that credit. And then you got guys like Gordon Hayward, who's just coming onto the scene, Kemba Walker, who's exciting, and Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's a lot of guys that don't get enough credit. And if you want to go to the West Coast and go back to point guards, go to Damian Lillard, who felt he was snubbed as an all-star. But that's the great thing about this league. So many great players. You got to play hard every night to get some credit. Because if not, someone else is deserving to have their name up there just as well.
Now here's Spates after the miss from Stanley Johnson. That one's in there. The Detroit lead is cut to just 3 points on the basket from Spates.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
They set the pick. Over in the corner. Lure. The Pistons rebound, and Drummond kicks to Jackson. 1:06 left in the first half of the game. Here's Bradley. It's deflected. Payton left side. It's stolen by Johnson. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Now with this break, let's check out just how the rebounding has been divided up in this game between the front and back court for the Pistons.
and their big men are getting the majority of the rebounds. You like all 5 guys boxing out and getting on the glass, but at the end of the day, that's their role to control the board.
Mario Hezonja's checked in for Orlando. Payton against Jackson. Passes to Lure. There's 37 seconds left to play in the first half. Shoots from 12, and it's Drummond missing.
And we haven't seen them be quite as aggressive driving the basketball, settling far too much for jumpers.
Now here's Payton, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Clock at 6. Here's Fournier, kept alive. Here's Vucevic, and they force the shot clock violation. Great D. So both teams changing it up here. Jackson with it. Over Payton. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Pistons lead by 3.
So all in all, not a bad first half. The only thing
Aldridge,
that's really hurting us is these second chance
sideline.
points. I mean,
Right,
it's
Dave.
getting pretty ridiculous. I think they've had probably 10
Thanks
or
very
12
much,
points now
Nick.
offensive
Obviously
rebounds.
very tough out there. What's your mindset?
Just want to come out and not aggressive and just play hard on defense, getting stops. They're a great team, so they're not going to quit. They're going to keep playing. And we just have to keep getting stops and keep believing that we can win this game, and good things will happen again.
I know that's what Coach is going to preach in the second half. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time to check out the first half of action. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. At the end of the period, they held a 2-point lead. If you look at the second quarter scoring, they had a small edge. They really hung tough as we got close to halftime. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
You have to love a team that pounds the offensive glass. That's going to gain you extra possessions. And check this out. Sometimes just having more offensive chances than your opponent wins the basketball game.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Magic.
Well, the reserves came in and played like starters. Gave them some big points off the bench. It'll be no surprise to see them get more minutes in the second half. They definitely deserve it. Though sometimes when you get more minutes, you get exposed. We shall see.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway. Let's send it to Kevin Harlan and crew, standing by courtside.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. Without question, Avery Bradley displaying his skills today.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Yeah, right. I mean, the defense hasn't had an answer for this guy yet. Just too skilled, too driven this far.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. The Magic trail by 3. I think it's been a long rebuild for the Magic, but they really feel they've got a plan in place.
Well, you've heard the front office talking that they're going to win at least 1 championship by the year 2030. And I got to say, that's an interesting quote, to say the least. I mean, I have heard of a 5-year plan, but a 13-year plan, I guess you'd call that building for the long term.
The big men are Gordon and Vucevic. Payton and Fournier are the 1 and the 2. And it's Isaac in at the 3. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Magic. And Drummond is right there. And the Pistons lead by 5.
What an effort by Drummond. Never giving up on the offensive glass and coming through with a big-time rim rock.
Payton passes to Vucevic. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. Payton against Jackson. Feeds it to Bradley. and the layup's good off the glass. Now it's a 7-point Detroit lead.
Oh, he took it right at him. Nice finish by Bradley.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Poked away. It's stolen by Bradley. Here's Jackson, and he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
Well, that's just a great start to the half for them. Their offense is clicking, and they have made 3 of their first 4 shots.
Payton outside. Dishes it to Gordon. Back to Payton, and it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Jackson. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. You look at Detroit. They're having a solid season. 5th in the conference and looking to move up. And checking out Orlando, a couple spots below.
And checking out Detroit, they were a team that no one knew quite what to make of entering the season. But as the years gone on, it's become clear they're legit contenders.
And I don't think they knew exactly what they were either at the beginning of the season. But as they've gotten more familiar with one another, their chemistry has really developed over time.
And the Magic making a change here. Simmons is checked in. And a switcher also for Detroit. Ellinson's checked in.
And you look at the post-up bangers who don't block shots at a high level. More and more we're seeing teams relegate them to that 6-man role off the bench. It'll be interesting to see how that affects a guy like Vucevic who fits that description.
Greg, why is it, do you think, that teams want those more floor-bound, post-up big men like Vucevic coming off the bench?
I think 2 things. First of all, their defensive shortcomings are less exposed playing against other reserves. Also, their ability to create offense on the block has more value with that second unit because that group tends to have their struggles in terms of scoring the basketball. And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound, strong on the glass and closing out possessions, and they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been terrific at turning turnovers into points. Number 1, the Magic.
You know, it's not just the turnovers they're forcing. I mean, they're converting at the other end, and you know what? It puts a lot of pressure on you to play perfect.
Gordon kicks to Augustine. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Vucevic with the bucket. Greg, with the Pistons and their discipline as a team, part of their great rebounding means they allow very few second-chance points, one of the fewest allowed in the league last season.
And couple that with how strong they've been at taking care of the basketball. Low turnover numbers as well as points allowed off of those turnovers. And with that rebounding, I think it makes for very measured basketball.
Here's Augustine following the score by Reggie Jackson. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
Oh, just a solid screen to free him up. Makes the layup possible.
And it's DJ Augustine with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Spates checked in for the Magic. Hezonja comes in for Isaac, and the Pistons making a change here as well. Stanley Johnson, he's checked in for Reggie Jackson. Smith dishes to Harris. And it's Ellinson in the corner. Good on the 3-point shot.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantage they hold in this game.
No good from Spates.
Look, you can't defend down low much better than that. Refuses to give him an easy path to the bucket.
Got a piece of it. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession.
And let's take a moment here to see some of the numbers for Gordon. 8th in field goal percentage, and he's right up there in the top 20 in scoring. Certainly a force to be reckoned with offensively.
And back to his phenomenal efficiency from 3, top 10 in the league. His consistent shooting creates so many openings in the defense. Marjanovic checked in for the Pistons. Tolliver comes in for Ellinson.
And there's that transition offense. Push the ball up the floor. The defense can't get set, and you can get some easy baskets here.
And Chris, you've been working as an analyst now for quite some time. Do you feel that how you view and enjoy the game has changed as you've transitioned from being a player on the floor to the booth?
You know what? I've learned a lot, and I've learned to look at the game a different way, but I look at the game the same way. I think the onus is on the player to execute what the coach and the GM puts out there for you to do, for you not to become a one-dimensional player, for you to improve in the summertime. That's the only time you can improve. And when you don't come back and you don't improve, it's obvious that you have the same glaring weaknesses that you had the year before. Even if you're not on a team that can compete for a championship, you want to make sure that you compete for a championship, that you compete for an all-star, that you compete to have your name out there. And so a lot of times we'll watch some of those teams, and I love seeing if they compete or if they laid it down early in the season. So, no, I would say that really what gives me an advantage is that the way that I looked at the game, and hopefully, you know, that gives me a unique perspective when I'm out there trying to talk to other basketball heads like myself.
Johnson against Simmons. Johnson, the pass to Smith. The jump hook. Marjanovic, no good.
You can't be missing shots like that in the post. That'll get you a spot on the bench.
There's 57 seconds left to play here in the third. That one drops for him. There's 53 seconds left in the third quarter. Pistons leading by 10. Harris a screen on Augustine. Smith kicks to Harris. Looking to get it going. Second shot opportunity, and he makes the bucket. True contact and gets the whistle too.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Fournier is checked in for the Magic. Elfrid Payton comes in for DJ Augustine. John Lure, he's checked in for the Pistons. Bradley comes in for Stanley Johnson. Now here's Payton. Spates with a screen on Smith. The tray. And Spates with the basket on the assist by Payton. Spates has got 9 points.
And really the defense didn't do a lot to fight around that screen on that possession.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And here's Smith. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. 6 to shoot. There's a screen by Marjanovic. That's short off the rim.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
And so it's the Detroit Pistons heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. Back to the action after this word. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
We got to keep closing now. We can't just give guys shots, pull to the ball, get our rotations. Let's go.
So you can't allow open shots and expect to play for Stan Van Gundy. He'll yank you out of there, guys, quickly.
Yeah, I mean, all 5 guys need to talk to each other, help each other defensively, and if just one guy slacks off, it's really easy for your defense to break down.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up. 2K Sports, happy to have you with us. A moment now to reset the lineups brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. On the court for the Pistons, Reggie Jackson out there with Smith. Then it's John Lure. Then there's Bradley. And it's Marjanovic in at the 5. So it's Detroit now after the Magic pick up 2. Lure the screen. Bradley drives in. Good for another field goal. Number 5 on the night. 5 for 10 shooting.
Brave in the paint. Bradley gets it done.
Here's Payton. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And Elfrid Payton, the 10th pick back in that 2014 draft. And remember, the Magic looked at him as their point guard of the future. And last season, at times, he was coming off the bench. And it's been about that lack of progress as a shooter that I think is the biggest concern with this team.
Vucevic checked in for Jonathan Simmons. Then for the Pistons, Andre Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic. And Harris subbed in for Ish Smith. Jackson. And it's Orlando with the rebound. Spates has got his 6th rebound on the night. And for Elfrid Payton, shooting has always been his Achilles heel.
Yeah, as a defender, passer, penetrator, I think he's solid. But shooting has become so important in our league right now. He needs that perimeter shot to really have a chance to get to the next level.
Yep, it goes. And the Piston lead is cut down to just 3 in the basket from Spates.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
Drummond sets the screen for Harris. The Pistons working the ball around now. Got a piece of it.
You got to be careful around Isaac. His length is a problem for the opposition. He stifles shooters with that reach.
Now here's Payton. Pass to Isaac. Kicks it to Vucevic. Fournier dishes to Spates. Rebound by the Pistons. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. Harris passes to Brantley, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Magic will take it. Aaron Gordon, who's checking in for Maurice Spates. The Magic trail by 5. Payton kicks to Vucevic. Back to Payton. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Some solid defense there from Jackson. The dish to Drummond. Shoots over Vucevic. And again, it's Andre Drummond. Now it's a 7-point Detroit lead.
And you know what? He's shaking off the cold shooting performance from the first half.
And Elfrid Payton with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Jackson against Payton. It's taken away by Payton.
Turnovers weren't a story for him early on, but that's changed. And now they're definitely having trouble keeping possession and momentum.
Now here's Jackson after the miss from Elfrid Payton. Harris, right side. Takes the 13-footer, and it's Drummond missing.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
Well, that just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result. Nice understanding of where to go with the pass there.
Outside Jackson. Here's Harris. Here's Drummond. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. And the Pistons lead by 7.
Well, give Drummond a lot of credit. He's just taking smart, high-quality shots out there. So smart and not letting the defense dictate what kind of shots he attempts.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
Yeah, he needs to tell his guys to just box out with some energy. That's basic basketball. They've been lazy on the backboard and have allowed way too many second-chance points.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Andre Drummond.
He's kept a lot of their possessions alive with his work on the offensive glass. You can't measure what that kind of effort means to a team. Not just in terms of the second chances those rebounds create, but also for the example it sets.
He's really seemed to feed off the hostile environment he's been faced with tonight. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
During that break, Frank Vogel had some real words for his team. He wants to change it up defensively and get more people packed into the paint. He said, they're beating us up down low. We have to put a stop to it. Let's see if they respond, Kevin.
And Drummond is right there. And it's a 9-point Piston lead.
Oh, how about the deft touch right there, guys?
He just guided that ball back up and in. Just a fingertip touch on the ball. Now, here's Vucevic. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
The bounce pass is the ticket there. Very nice assist.
Pistons leading by 7. Here's Bradley, who scores a 6th bucket from the floor with that one. He's shot the ball 11 times.
With his athleticism, nice to see Bradley driving to the rim.
Payton kicks to Fournier. That's good. And it's Payton with the assist.
Kevin, it's impossible for the D to impact that type of shots if it's going to be that matchup. He's giving away too many inches.
There's the pick. Ball's knocked loose. And the call will be against Fournier. That's foul number 2 for him. .107 left in the 4th quarter. Here's Jackson. No good that time. So Orlando will take it the other way.
Sometimes all you have to do is dump the ball down to Drummond and get out of the way. He'll take care of the rest, utilizing his massive frame so well.
Offensive rebound. The Pistons have gone through the 4th quarter shooting 50%, 7 of 14. Here's Jackson. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Oh, come on. How great is Jackson at earning these calls, especially from the interior where he is very crafty.
So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Biombo, he's checked in for Vucevic. Mario Hezonja comes in for Isaac. Aaron Aflalo, he's checked in for Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. Now here is Smith, following the miss by Aaron Gordon. Smith dishes to Jackson. Pass to Ellenson. A 3-pointer is right on target. Ellenson's got the lead up to 13 now for Detroit.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Yeah, that offense shifted into high gear. I love the attack mindset.
Looking to end the run. Biombo, the pass to Hezonja. Can't connect. And so Detroit takes this one by a big margin. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Well, that was bullshit. I mean, look at those second chance points right there. Look at those offensive rebounds. I mean, what the actual fuck? That Drummond was just absolutely killing us. I mean, we scored 50 points. I mean, look, we had 56% three-pointers on the percentage, and then 46% on the field goals. We scored 50 points, so that's a good night. You know, that's a good night offensively, but defensively, I don't know what the hell is going on. You know, Drummond just was, you know, offensively rebounding over people. He was just getting the ball here, there, and everywhere, and I could not stop him on the offensive side. So, I could not stop him defensively. It's just, man, I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. I felt we played pretty well. I mean, we scored 50 points. That's a really good game offensively. I mean, I understand I just couldn't quite hold these guys down in the paint. You see there, 42 points in the paint, so they only scored 4 3-pointers. But offensively, we played really well. I just honestly don't know what I could do differently defensively. You know, they just was running around me, getting the offensive rebounds. I mean, if you take away those second chance points, that's it, we won. I mean, fundamentally, Drummond, I think, won the game tonight for the Pistons. So, moving on to the next one. Again, really disappointed. But, yeah, it's not the way we wanted to. I mean, I'm very happy offensively with that play on All-Star, but defensively, that's just ridiculous. It's virtually impossible. I mean, and you can't really do anything against the defense, defensively. I mean, the offensive rebounds, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I can't remember. I think screen the guy away from stopping it stopping him from actually, you know, getting the ball. But if he's going to jump over and get the rebound, you know, I'm pressing triangle at the same time, trying to get the same rebound. And I don't know if it's a matchup issue or what the hell, but Vooch just was absolutely god awful tonight defensively. Whereas he's usually getting all the rebounds and whatnot. I mean, look at that, 14 rebounds in a 6 minute quarter game. That's just ridiculous. So Spatey was definitely the man of the match on our side of the court. You know, 11 points. He managed to score that big three that got us back into it. I mean, we got back within 3 points, but then it just all fell apart defensively again. So with that, I'm gonna move on to the next one and hopefully get a better result. But if we keep playing defensively like that, it's going to be a long ass season. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you stay tuned for the next game. That'll be on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure who we're going up against, but we'll have a look in the next episode. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys.